Hello YouTubers, thanks for visiting the channel. In January, the EU has given the green light to putting insects into food. That's the likes of cricket and mealworms. So you're talking that'll be going into the food chain. Now the EU said nobody's going to be forced to eat it. But if you look at what's happening with all the farms in, say, Ireland and in Holland, etc., the way they're trying to clear beef herds off the land because the cows are farting too much methane and the nitrates going into the ground, what's going to happen is you're going to have the likes of the elite who will be able to afford meat and you will not. And there's going to be putting it into products and all, to be able to put it into even pastas or burgers, etc. I'm just going to show you pictures now of burgers I got in a store. I actually didn't buy them, I just took pictures of them. Basically what they're doing is they're socially conditioning you to accept this as normal food, which is not. It's insects and maggots and whatever, bugs. Like in the Soviet Union, you had people in the Politburo, the top table, all eating the best when all the people weren't, but they thought that everybody was in the same boat. But there's always corruption, and they're getting rid of farmers right, left and centre this way, and eventually there'll only be a very few farms producing beef, good quality beef, and they'll be eating it, you won't. But I said I'd show the viewers. Now, the idea of this is that when a consumer goes into a shop and sees burgers and it's emblazoned on the front that there's, insects in them, it's socially conditioning you to accept that there's burgers there that has insects in them. Now, you'll be disgusted with that and you say, I'll never eat that crap, Some will, but that's what one says, but in general people say, no, I'm not going to be eating that crap. But what's going to happen is, when they crush these and dry out these whatever beetles and larvae and mealworms, etc., they'll be in a powder form and there'll be a nice name on it. So it'll be totally unconnected to what the actual insects are, etc., So by bringing out products with insects emblazoned all over the front, what's going to happen, you're going to see them and you say, oh, no, not touching that. But they'll be on the shelves now for the next few years. Then what happens is the producers of food are going to start introducing that protein powder from the insects into ordinary burgers and ordinary other food products. But at that stage you'll have been conditioned to say, well, I've seen those burgers for sale for the last few years and I haven't heard anyone dying from eating them. I suppose a little bit in the burger isn't bad, I see it in the ingredients, etc. Eventually then it becomes more and more, and then eventually you're going to be eating insects unless you can afford the rare beef that's going to be available. The elite won't have this problem, they won't be eating this crap at all. They're putting it down that when they're raising insects, that less methane and they're better for the environment and all this, with the false narrative that the whole planet's going to burn up by 2050 if we don't reduce carbon emissions, something I'm not buying into. But I'm just saying, I just wanted to inform you and just show you them. Some people have said it that they don't believe it, so I've this video here now. I went out of my way to get pictures of the actual burgers. But there's a lot more stuff where you're going to be having the likes of house crickets and all. They also were going to sell it to you as well, that like a lot of Asian countries, this is a delicacy and all that, and that it's part of the culture and all. But it's not part of mine. It's not. I don't think it's part of yours either, to have fried crickets and mealworm salads, etc. Like that's. I think even the Bible says you're not to be eating on it like that if you're into religion and all, but I'd say there's a reason for it to be in it. But yeah, the Commission said that nobody has to eat the insects, but the time will come where it's going to, if we don't start copping on that, it'll be our only option.